Hey, weekly metal reviews here with another video. Yeah, no, really, this isn't a video. That was stupid of me. Anyway, this is a review of Bring the Horizon's new album, Sempiternal. It leaked not too long ago. Someone got their hands on it somehow. It was released to the world. And the reception of it has been astounding. It's been, frankly, phenomenal. It's so phenomenal that they've even pushed the release date up closer to now. It's coming out April 1st, and it was like a month later or something. I think it was in May that they were going to release it, but now it's April 1st. You know, the demand was so great that they've pushed the release date up. It tells you something about it. First things first, the Sempiternal. What does that even mean? It's an old English word meaning it's kind of an idea that nothing changes. It's a life that nothing changes, nothing becomes different, everything is stagnant, and it's really a depressing idea. You never die, nothing changes. And they incorporate that feeling of sadness into this album, I think. Sadness, depression, the darkness, the dark feelings that come with that word. Because you could just imagine living forever and nothing ever changes. Like how just tiresome that would be, and you know. How do they incorporate that into this album? A couple of the songs. Shadow Moses, at least. That was the first song they released a while back, a couple months ago. They released that song, they released a music video for it. I think, really, if I would have listened to the song without the music video, I'm pretty sure my imagery would have been a little different, a little more abstract, but I think they really captured the feeling of the word Sempiternal by that music video. It's snowing, it's cold, the camera is shaking, it just gives you this feeling of loneliness and sorrow, and they did a very good job in that music video. I really liked it. But yeah, the song itself, the feeling that you get from it, it's still Bring Me the Horizon in a way where they have that, you know, sort of a power behind them. Because my previous impression of this band was always that they were, I'm not using this term in any negative sort of way, kind of a lively party band in a way. Like the song Chelsea Smile, it's upbeat the whole time, it's always coming at you. You know, I've had that impression of this band before. That's just my impression that I've had. But this song really seemed to change it. This seems to go throughout the album. It seems constant that they retain what they've had before, their liveliness, their metal side, but they've dabbled in this new electronic music type of diddle daddle, and they've had some ambience that they've added, and synthetics or synths, whatever, that they've added, and it really combines to make a groovy, very groovy. I think the guitars and such, they're very groovy. They have like a bounce, like a a nice sort of edge to them that it's very nice. It's very easy on the ear. They still have that sort of liveliness to them, but the sound they've adapted is more accessible for people that may not have liked the band before, or people that, honestly, I think someone that doesn't really like metal could end up liking this album, in my opinion. That's how accessible it is. And it still retains a metal side to it. It still has that metal persona, in my opinion. And that's not just because, oh, there's a breakdown, so it's metal. They still have a metal side, I think. It's very alternative. still, they've retained that. Especially in the song "Go to Hell for Heaven's Sake." I feel like that song could be on the radio, in my opinion. The chorus, the verses, everything about it just screams like someone that likes radio rock bands or something could be like, yeah, I could dig this song. And then someone that likes throwdown hardstyle metal and, you know, Behemoth or something like that could still be like, this is a pretty cool song. And, you know, they've done a great job on this album making it that accessible. You know, it really shows the maturity of this band that it seemingly adapted suddenly, in my opinion. I'm not saying they've never been a mature band, but like like the song "Chelsea Smile." If you've ever seen the music video for that, the music video is just a party with a bunch of people partying. You know, I mean that says that kind of says what they used to be, and now with the music video of Shadow Moses, it really kind of brings into perspective how they've really matured in a way, and that instrumentally and musically and maybe mentally that's come with them. You know, they've grown up a little bit. They've grown into this new band. It's not brand new. It's nothing that's like, this doesn't sound like Bring Me the Horizon. You can tell it's them, mainly by Oliver's vocals, Oliver, Woody, whatever you want to call him. His vocals really, they haven't been changed too much, but it's just every band's vocals seems to, every singer or vocalist's vocals seem to change with albums because, you know, they practice more and they get better at some things and they change a few things, mess with it a little bit. But overall, I think he hasn't changed too much. A couple tracks, you'll find Oliver singing, which is new, but it's very cool. They use it so well, and like I said before, with this concept of Sempiternal, they really incorporate that. It gives a feeling of sorrow and just, you know, mellowness. You know, it's so down, but it's still, yeah. You'll know what I mean if you listen to it. It has such a feeling of sorrow, and especially the song "Hospital for Souls." That song is so sad, but they still make it listenable. They still make it work. They still retain the metal side. That's what I'm trying to say. They aren't making it some mellow rock band or anything like that, but they're still retaining that metal side that they've had. They're just coming into a new era, you could say. With this album, it's definitely something new from the band. Just judging by their sound, maybe you could say it's because they signed to a new record label that houses such recording artists. I don't really know. I've just heard they're, you know, more mainstream recording artists. Sony Music Entertainment Corporation recording studio, Inc. Mystery Inc. They signed to Mystery Inc. Recordings, but they signed to some Sony Music thingamabobber, Coodle Doodle, and apparently this recording record label, that's stupid. This record label has you know, more mainstream artists, so people were afraid that they would the record label would change them to make them more of a rock band, more mainstream. I don't think a band like this would let a record label change them. So if anyone's thinking that, you know, they've changed their sound because of the record label, I don't think they would do that. I think they're becoming more mature and they've adapted a new sound, and it really works for them. And it's really reached out to a lot of people. They've gained a lot of new fans. The song "Antivist," Cantivus, however you say it, was the second song that they released. It didn't leak. They released 2 songs, then the album leaked. This is the second song they released. It's definitely the live song of the album, if you know what I'm saying. You know, blah blah blah. Like, Suicide Silence has You Only Live Once. It may not be like, you know, the best song off of the album, from the Black Crown. It may not be the best song off the album, but it's definitely the live song that they have. They play live and everyone knows it and they go crazy for it, but it's just kind of that song, you know, where it's not too emotional and it's not really deep. It's just kind of a live song. At least in my head, that's what it appears to. That's how I feel about it. Really, I think I've said most of what I can say. The band, this is a new album for them. They have a nice, groovy new sound. They've dabbled in synths and electronic music and a lot of swell ambience that they use very, very nicely. They really use their new sound in the best way possible. Is it, like, have they mastered it? I don't think so. I think maybe in the next album or 2 they can really get a hold of it and, you know, bring everything closer together and, you know, make it better. Which is kind of weird saying that after hearing this album. How can they make it better? But I think this is just a new sound, and it's just a sample of what's to come. I don't think they'll. I'm not sure if they'll really stick with this sound. I feel like they may alter it. But I like how this album really shows the band coming into their maturity level. Where every band that I feel bands that the more popular they are, the more they evolve. Like Whitechapel. They're one of the most popular deathcore bands. Have they evolved from Somatic Defilement to their self-titled? Definitely. You know, the songwriting is, you know, more mature, the production is better, the sound is just more closely just tight, like in a ball, and it's getting, you know, nicer and nicer, and, you know, everything's coming together for that. They've really come together over the years. Devil Wears Prada, they've really come together since their first album. You know, they've really rounded out their sounds. They've really sanded off the edges, the sharp edges that, you know, bands sometimes have when they're young. Just a jagged edge that's kind of pointy and pokey, and they end up sanding it off and making it round and nice and just, you know, wholesome. And I think this is just, like I said, just a taste of what's to come from Bring the Horizon, hopefully. I really enjoyed this album. I think a lot of people did, and it's definitely something that I understand why a lot of people enjoy it. It's a very very good album. Anything that I have to say about the mechanics and such, the production is phenomenal. Besides the fact that I feel Oliver is a little louder than he should be. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. When I listen to the songs, I always hear Oliver. You know, I try to listen in. Sometimes, like, if I put the song on, first thing I know is, bam, Oliver. I don't really notice, like, any certain riffs that they have, guitar-wise. I'm never like, oh yeah, there's that riff, like, you know, memorable riffs that come in. But, like, Chelsea Smile, you know, like the breakdown, I guess, that they have throughout that song. You kind of memorize it. You're looking for that guitar part, you know. But I feel like in this album it's very centered around Oliver, which isn't a bad thing. I think he's a great vocalist. I love his vocal style, however you describe it. Raspy, scratchy sound that I feel like would hurt his throat or something like that. But I love it. I love the sound they have. It's very rounded out, very mellow, very sad, and it really carries that idea of Sempiternal. It's, you know, the feeling that you get with the emotions and such. And I feel like Oliver definitely put a lot of emotion into this album, which is pretty cool. It also shows maturity. And that's really all I have to say, I guess. This album definitely changed my impression on the band, my opinion. Everything has just been changed because it's so new. It's so nice, and it's surprising, honestly. But that's really all I have to say about it. It's new, very mellow throughout the whole album. A couple songs are, hyped and lively and such, but mostly it's a very mellow, down to earth, rounded, perfectly produced album, I think. That's it. My rating, I guess. The rating, Papa Pow. 9 out of 10. And that's all there is to it. That's the whole show. I'm done. I'm going home.